on her website. So she's primarily a brother dealership, but she's got good yarn, and these double-eyed bobbins will fit any machine. I think she has a bulky size too. I think I treated myself to a bulky double-eyed bobbin with the last yarn order I did. And so next time I order some yarn, I think I'm going to treat myself to a couple more of the standard gauge. It's so nice to be able to find some tools when you need them. So I'm just moving all the stitches from the back bed to the front bed. Now you can use this particular pattern with the fringe we're going to put on this. You don't have to knit stripes. You can do solid colors. If you've got a variegated yarn that's quite pretty that you couldn't figure out what to do with, well, turn it into a pretty scarf. It'll make a beautiful Christmas present. And with the hat, depending on it, I redid my hat pattern also so that there's two sizes, and I knitted where instead of casting on 80 stitches, I did a cast on 70 stitches on each bed for the hat, and made a little bit tighter hat because these are going to younger people than what I was originally knitting for. So now we've got everything off the back bed. We no longer need any needles up on the back bed. Now we're going to pull the front bed out. We're going to wrap it into and catch it in the hook, and we're going to pull that through those 2 stitches. That way we're always working with 2 stitches instead of 3. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to use that needle as my gauge because I don't want a tight cast off, but I don't want a real loose one either. And this will also help hold my stitches. Is my arm out of the way? So we want to come across. So the one we just emptied, we come across, and then we catch it in the hook that we just had it onto it. Now there's 1 stitch here. We're moving it over here. Now there's 3 stitches on this one needle. So now we're going to bring it down to 1 stitch. And this gives us a good, easy, even cast off, so that we will only have, an even space. So your both ends of your both ends of your scarf will look more identical this way. But you're going to be putting fringe on it. So if you want to use a lazier cast on, you can use the rag cast on. Okay, so again, we're pulling the single stitch up that we just worked off. Now we have 3 on this one. We put up the empty needle, put it across the empty needle, catch it into the hook with the one with the 3 stitches, and pull it through. And we just going to continue to the end. Make sure your latch hook is open. There we go. That latch hook was closed for a second. Now if these other needles are getting in your way a little bit, I don't want to release them, but you can kind of mash them out of your way. I don't want to let the stitches drop off them yet, but just enough to get them out of the way of your hand so you don't mess up with the motion of your hand. Okay, we're getting close to the end. We'll do that last needle cast off in just a little bit different. Okay, we're going to bring this over to the last needle. Same as always. We're going to bring it, and then we're going to bring it on through. Now there's one needle stitch on it, so we brought it back up. We're going to go under the latch, into the hook, and pull through. And now we're going to break the yarn. Now this is our loose stitch. This anchors everything. And now I'm going to grab a hold of my yarn, my scarf. I'm going to get the weights off. Now as I rolled up my scarf, I made sure that my extra pull downs were tucked in. That way I don't have this big mess on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And we're going to take this out. There we go. Let it drop. No matter how hard we try, our cast on cones eventually get a little beaten up. Okay, I want to take off my clothespin. And I'm going to hold on some tension. I'm going to bring that down. And I'm going to drop the scarf off. And there you have it. Now I'm going to work these ends in. And to the side of the scarf, I'm going to look for any drop stitches. I did have one drop stitch that I caught, and I'm going to fix that drop stitch. And then I'm going to wash it and dry it before I put the fringe on. I like to do that. So I use the double eye needle. And I've got a couple of little loops because like everybody else, my machine's getting a little older. So I'm going to work that loop in too. Let me see if I can work that loop in first. I'm going to go into the side here with my orange tool, and I'm going to go in and pick up some sides. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm just picking up some on the side of the knitting. I'm going to grab this loop, this little extra yarn, and I'm going to pull it through. Now that's going to anchor. Now I'm going to go into the center of it, and I'm going to catch this loop, and I'm going to pull it through. And it looks like I had a little loop up here. I didn't have too many, but I did have some loops. So again, I'm going to go into see the side, take my yellow tool, and I'm going to go going to weave it in every other one. I'm going to catch that center of that loop, pull it through. Now I'm going to go in to the center between the two layers. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to pull it through. Now once it's washed and dried and the stitches are set, hopefully that will be fine. Okay, so I got that taken care of. Now I'm going to use the double-eyed balkan. You can use a tapestry needle if you want to, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the loops. I'm going to weave it in and out of there best I can, because I have that loop there. So I'm going to go just weave it in and out. Going to bring it up, and it kind of see it hides it in that corner. Then I'm going to go through the next needle, through the next loop on that side, pull it through, and I've got a mic on so I can't put this around my neck too easily, but I got my scissors that when I'm sitting at the couch watching TV, it's hanging around my neck and I don't lose them. So right here we're going to come up. I'm going to cut this blue yarn. See, I got a nice loop to work with, and I'm going to take this. Now this is not quite an anchored deal. Now you can do this however you're comfortable. You can take and you can tie yourself one little tie right there if you're comfortable with that. Some people aren't. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to go in the side, in and out every other, over under these little sides. And then I'm going to go back in And I'm going to just run it through here, pull it through. Basically, I'm taking and putting a long edge in on the inside. And then that will help me. Just drop my scissors. That's the reason why I wear them around my neck. This is a little longer than I need. So I'm going to break that off. I'm going to slide my scissors over. Maybe my husband, who's behind the camera, will pick it up for me. The ladies at our knit club call him Cupcake. And there's a reason he's a cupcake. He spoils me rotten. Thank you. Got my scissors back. See if I can keep from dropping them again. So, are we getting a good picture here? Okay. So, let's, okay, go in and out. Shows it probably up a little bit better. So, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera. I'm going to wash it and dry it, the scarf, because that helps set the stitches, and that sets all that for me. And then I'm going to show you how to knit the fringe and put the fringe on. Okay, we've now washed and dried our scarf. We had worked in our ends before we washed and dried it to help set everything, to get where we put this in to help set the stitches and set that into dill. We're now going to knit the fringe and put into our eyelets. Now, in order to knit the fringe, we need our lock setting will be on 3 on the front bed, 3 on the back bed, and on the front bed, and on the front bed, and we're going to pick up the second color. In this case, we're going to pick up the gold. Now we're going to use needles. We're going to put our racking handle into the 12 o'clock position, and we're going to pull up number 1 to the left and 2 and 3 to the left, and we're going to use it being in 12 o'clock position to point to make sure. Then we're going to go to the right, and we're going to go 30, 31, and 33. And since we're doing a rack and cast on, we're going to go ahead and complete the rack and cast on and put it into the 6 o'clock position going to the left. And we're going to knit 1 row. And we're going to rack and handle all the way back over and down 6 o'clock position. And we're using orange strippers. Now we're not going to use the cast on cone for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the gold color for a little while, put some hand tension on it until I knit enough rows to attach some weights. These are 2 prom weights, and they are a Japanese style or a brother style weight, and I love using these on the Passap when I can. You can get them from Charlene Schaefer at the Knit Nat shop, and she is on the internet. So we're going to just knit a few rows until we get, and if you're watching this and on your left hand side you see a drop stitch, don't worry about that, because that is going to happen, and this is fringe, so you really don't care. And if it's a little longer or a little shorter, we'll take care of that at the end. And the reason why it'll drop off this is I'm not using any weight on that at all. So I've gotten about 38 rows. So I'm going to attach a weight to be underneath this one, and I'm going to get a second weight. And now I'm going to add some weight over here to this side. And those 2 little proms just dig really good into that 3 stitch. So I'm going to continue knitting to 192 in the second color. Okay, I'm at 191 rows, so I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to switch to color 1. We're going to set the row count back on 0, and I need to make a correction that I did earlier. It's on here, it's 30, 31, and 32, not 33. And I do apologize for that slip up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to knit in the color 1, 224 rows. We're on row count 223. We're going to knit over. That completes our 224. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop off these end stitches here and put them out of work. I'm going to pick up the gold and I'm going to knit about 10 rows to help me from losing my blue stitches. So I'm just going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to break the yarn. But I want to grab it because I want to keep this machine threaded, so I'm going to pull it underneath and then grab it. I'm going to pull the blue down and break the blue off too. Now I'm going to just bring an empty machine. I'm going to take the weights off first. We want to get the weights off. And I'm going to bring it across. And I'm going to put those out of work. So what we got here is our 224 rows of blue and our 192 rows of the gold. Okay, so you can handle this in two ways. We can take with a pair of scissors and we can start cutting right down this line and then throw this part away. Or what I like to do is I like to pull it off. So the reason why I put the gold on there is take off 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put my fingers in it. And it's not going to be perfect because you remember that some of those stitches dropped on that deal, but then I grab it here and I cut that loop. Now that's how I like to do it. Now if you want to be quick and easy, just go ahead and just cut right down this line and your fringe will be separated for you. So off camera I'm going to continue. Let me do this one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, get the loops, grab it with my two fingers there, my thumb and my finger, pull my finger out and cut it. Okay, now I'm going to do this all the way across and we'll come back. Okay, we have gotten all of our fringe cut now, so I'm just going to lay it across here. Now that I've gotten all my fringe cut, I'm going to go ahead and pull out this gold thread and just get rid of it. That was to help hold it so as I cut it so it wouldn't make a mess and I wouldn't tear them out. Okay, now we're going to be putting our fringe in, and what we're going to use is this latch hook. It's a rug latch hook. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, maybe be able to get it at Walmart if they still have a craft store with yarn. So this is used for hooking yarn, and it's really good for this too because it's got a lot more bulk to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull 8 strands from here, from this fringe. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we got 8 strands, and we want to get them joined up pretty good. So we want them to be kind of equal. So it's kind of clumsy. This is a good job to do in front of the TV. So you want to pull it straight. Make sure you got them all straight. Now, don't worry about it if it's a little longer on the other ends. We'll take care of that later. But first we got to make sure it's correct up here, because that will help with down there. Okay, so we're going to fold it in half. We're going to get our finger in the middle, here the half. We're going to put our latch hook in the very first eyelet. So that eyelet is right there. And we're going to catch it and we're going to pull it through. And then we're going to take and put our yarn through, and we're going to pull it tight. Now on these ends we want to make sure that we stay on the end and we don't go up and get into the side of the scarf, because we want it to hang down right. So we're going to pull another 8. Again, we want to get our ends even. Okay, I don't look like I have 8, and I thought I counted to 8. 2, 3. Okay, we dropped a couple is what we did, so that's easy enough. We just pick it up now. Okay, we're going to bring it in. Now we're going to skip an eyelet because that will have gold. So we'll have every other eyelet. And the main color will be on each end. So we're going to go all the way across and get it onto the end, and then we're going to flip the scarf. Because see how we have it folded? We're going to flip the scarf and we're going to do the blue again on this side. We want to keep the scarf folded and flipped like that because we want this to be on the same side, because there is a different look. There is a different look in your fringe, so you do want your flip side. So I'm going to continue doing the blue, and then I'll come back with the gold. Okay, I'm now putting in my last blue piece of fringe on the end. So it's going to be the same thing that it was at the beginning on the end. I want to make sure that I get the fringe on the bottom and not on the side of the scarf. Okay, so we've got all the blue done. So now we're going to start in on the gold. So it's going to be exactly like the blue. So we're going to pull 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we're going to match them up just like we did the blue. Kind of got them going every which way here. So we want to line them up. And now what we're going to do, because we did every other loop or every other eyelet while ago, so now all we have to do is go into the in between the blues into that eyelet, and it's the same exact process as it is for the blue. It's a little bit easier because now we've got something already there, and it's going to be really easy. You pull it tight. So that's what it's going to do all the way across. This is what it's going to look like when it's completely finished. You're going to have, this is the back side, what I consider the back side of it. See, this is the front side of the scarf. You're going to have it going all the way across. Looks like I need to adjust this one a little bit. We might have got it a little on the side there. We want to adjust it. Now, once you get the fringe on, you do not want to just throw this in the washing machine in the dryer. The washing machine, the agitated of the washing machine, will ruin the fringe. Now, a lot of these are going to be Christmas presents. So what I'm going to do with it is, this is a lingerie bag. You can get it, well, in Texas we have what we call the H-E-B grocery store. I just went into the laundry area and bought some bags like this. They weren't expensive. I think they were around $1. And so what it is as I give this, I'm also going to give this as a present with some washing instructions to place into the bag and throw it into the washing machine with your other delicate items, like your blouses and things. I would not throw this in with the towels and sheets and underwear and like that. I would throw this in with my blouse. These are pretty color fast yarns. I've not had any problems with these fading on anything. So basically this is a nice size bag. The scarf will just be placed when it gets dirty. You can place the scarf and the hat into if you want to. The hat you don't need to worry about the hat, because that is a no fringe on the hats. Again, when I did my hats to matching hats, I didn't go 80. I cast on 70 instead of 80. and you just zip it up in the bag, throw it in the laundry, and that will protect your fringe. I hope you enjoy making these scarves, and happy knitting.